It's another beautiful day today, and you are on to conversations. I want to begin by asking the ladies who are with us here, how are you? I'm not trying to, play partial or whatever you call it, but I know why I'm starting that way because women oftentimes are said to be multitask, and that is a title. But asking me again, I will tell you there is a lot of work. Yes. Traditionally speaking, we have different roles, assigned, ascribed, however you put it, for different gender. We seem to have the women, put our box into the kitchen, and the men go out there, get things, and come back, while the women enjoy their loots or their proceeds, whatever it is. We also take care of the pain for them. But then today, it is gradually changing. The women are fast becoming breadwinners. The women are also becoming, in charge of a whole lot of things, diving into fields ordinarily we call the men's arena. Is it that easy? I don't know. How are they coping? Well, I have my own side of it. We'll get to look at that all together. And for the men, do they really want us to be there? That's another question. And Elizabeth is not an aspect here. I just know that somehow, somewhere, I am a domestic engineer as well as a staff of NTA. And I'll continue to enjoy the two sides of me. But then, my name again is Elizabeth. There are other people here who will share their views. For you, let's start with the lady right at the extreme.
My name is Joy Panichi, and it's good to be here this morning.
I'm Twins Yusu. Thank you for having me.
And I know you're into renewable energy, right?
Yes.
Which one in particular?
I design and install solar system.
Oh, wow.
Solar energy systems.
Oh, wow.
And I'm into energy efficient appliances.
Okay, that's why I see women.
Okay, this is Women in Energy, Oil and Gas. This
Okay.
is an organization of professional women in the energy, oil and gas, in all aspects of the energy, oil and gas value chain.
Okay. I'm going to be talking a whole lot to you because whenever you talk about energy, you remember electricity. And for me, it's a whole lot. I know how much I'm spending. They say I'm in band A. I don't know who in band A. Let's go back.
First of all, let me start by saying band A na scam. I don't think even Minister Seal is enjoying band A according to the description that you have. So we are also, my house is also supposedly in band A.
Do you have lights this morning?
No, we don't have lights.
I did not have lights since yesterday.
We are going to find how we can get them to put us on band D, where we might be. No, not true now. My name is Devan, Mom, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Engineer Christabel Ekocha. I'm the National Chairperson, Nuclear Energy Committee for the Women in Energy, Oil and Gas.
Okay.
And I'm also happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. You guys will educate us more because at the end of the day, I want to be able to provide my own lights. Whether it's charcoal, because this band, I don't know if it's binding.
It's not working.
It's binding my money together.
It's not working. It's not binding.
It's not
binding at all.
All right, so we have just seen a bit of our guests, and we are all women here. So for our insights, we decided to go out there to find out from the young men. It's interesting. My team members said they want to find out the men who are getting married. Who do they want to marry? Do they want their wives to work? What kind of work do they want their wives to do? Let's see this.
To me, it's a choice. So, for me, if I work hard, I won't allow my wife to work 9 to 5. So that's it. I won't allow my wife to work 9 to 5.
Actually, given the need for proper upbringing of my kids, I don't think it's advisable for my wife to work full time because I need a mother figure at home to take care of things. I prefer she work from home. You understand? Possibly open up a business for her that is very close to, my residence, so that she can, be breathing in and out of the house to, see how the kids are faring and how the family is faring as well.
Why not? With this kind of harsh condition, why will you not allow your wife to work to support you? We want to marry liability.
I would like my wife to have a full-time job. I have no reason to stop her from doing her job and what she likes?
I will not love her to do a full-time job, because if she engaged in a full-time job, she might not really have the full attention I and my kids will want. So these are some of the reasons. And as a woman, there are some jobs, if she engaged full-time, she might not have the time to do some basic and primary assignment that she's supposed to do as a woman. So for me, I would prefer, if I have the resources, I'll open a business for her, or maybe start up something that she'll just manage, and there's no point working for any organization.
Yes, sure.
So what would be your job preference?
Any kind of job that will make her leave the house by 8 or 9 a.m. and before 4 or 5 p.m. she's back in the house.
Yes, my wife can actually work as a full-timer, and also she can work as a part-timer, but not a full housewife. Yes. So why I said this is because me personally, I wish to marry a nurse. So if my wife, if I actually got married to a nurse, she will work a full-timer in a hospital. Now, if peradventure I got married to someone who is not a nurse but a skilled person, she can work, she can run her own business. We join hands together and develop the business.
It depends on what kind of job and where she work for.
However, my wife should be a material at home, always taking care of my house, because my wife will value the same thing I value my home. Then if I have something like business, because she must not be a liability at the same time, because maybe I can die one day and then she will be able of taking care of the children. In that one, I will also train her. Maybe I will give her a business. I prefer she should be doing a business so that she will know how to manage herself.
It's interesting. You know, I had a lot of opinions on my own from different people, but I think the one that just, like the young people will say, off me, was when somebody said my wife should be a material at home. I mean, is it fabric?
Yeah.
It's not fair. I mean,
I don't think he knew what he was saying. I don't think that person has a very good grasp of English language. And I've come to realize that the less people understand grammar, the more they are likely to pick big words and just throw them into what they're saying in order to try and impress. You know, there's all this talk nowadays of wife material, husband material. I think that's what he was trying to express. I don't think he meant it in a derogatory manner.
Okay, but you know, generally I noticed something, you know, cutting across almost every one of them. That's still that traditional, you know, role ascribed to women of being the housekeeper. I really don't have anything against it. A lot of them said they didn't want their wives to work. You know, they just wanted them to do something that is around the corner so that they can take care of their home, which is what I enjoyed. I used to ask my father, why did you marry a teacher? He said he didn't want to come home and not sleep with his wife, you know, in the house. So if he had married a nurse, that the nurse would be doing their night shifts.
Their night shifts.
And he will probably have to be the one to take care of the children at night. So for that, he just went for somebody who would do 8 to, then it used to be 2 o'clock for teachers. So they had a lot of time at home to take care of their children, which was why such jobs were considered for women, you know. But I don't know, before I go to talk to Christabel and you know, Twain, I don't know what your take is on the job as you know, being described or given to women naturally, the kind of jobs we should do. Most people think even the one you and I do, which is journalism, is not for women.
Well, journalism is grueling.
I know.
It's grueling. I recall that when there was a time I had a schedule where I'd come to work on Thursday and not close till Friday morning, and that whole time I would not sleep a wink. I would genuinely be working. Now, if you're unlucky enough to have the kind of spouse that has a very overactive imagination, And who were my editors? My editors were male because we used to spend the night editing.
Usually.
Yeah. And you know, we live in a culture nowadays where we're encouraged to think and expect the worst at all times. There's no way that man will not assume that I'm not taking 2 or 3 hours in between that stretch at night to go and cuddle up somewhere with my editor. And nothing could be farther from the truth. You see, the editing process is so grueling. You want to make sure there isn't a second where there's no visual there. You haven't misspelled somebody's name. Sometimes I would buy food and keep it right by my side, and I wouldn't be able to distract myself long enough to eat it. Never mind getting up and leaving that place to go somewhere and go and do anything with anybody. But if you happen to be with the kind of spouse who feels that because Peter's wife misbehaves, therefore my own wife too will misbehave, you will not even be able to focus and work. You understand? Now, that said, I grew up in a home where my mother was a nurse. She had a schedule where she would close by 3:30. And my father also was a full-time public servant. So I know firsthand what it's like to grow up in a home where your parents both work outside the home. But you see, we lived in simpler times. My grandmother was in the house, and the house helps we had back then were good people. They were good people. I dare say most of who I am today, they were very responsible for it, you know, because I didn't also have the kind of parents where you have people in the house and then you stop them from disciplining your child. So the fact that my father and mother were not in the house didn't mean I could be a monkey and get away with it. You know, true. If I did something wrong, luckily they were kind. You know, they were not the type that would beat me up or deprive me of food. You know, but they would, why are you doing that? Move away from that place and all of this. So despite the fact that my mother was not in the house, there were 3 capable people in the house stopping me from being a small little wild animal. You understand? So it still worked.
Yes.
But nowadays, do you have such reliable people at home when you go to work? That's also a challenge.
Meanwhile, it's even today that we're taking up more jobs than
exactly, because
it happened then.
Times are hard. These people that are saying, oh, I don't want my wife to get a proper job, can they really cope on their own while she's bringing in peanuts from that small kiosk? Can they cope?
Exactly. Let's take it back to Joy. I don't know. She has her own views. What do you think?
If you remember some weeks ago when we were talking about women in the military, and people, most men will not want their wives to work in the military because they feel it's more of a male dominated stuff. But you see, times have changed. Things have changed. Like she said, my mom was a nurse. Yes, my mom was a nurse. And one thing I realized then was that the men were more trusting. The men I don't think they marry people that were not doing something. But you see, the only problem that in between when my mom was working, we had a situation. And what happened? And my mom said, and my dad said, you have to stop work. But what did he do? Stopping her from working, he made sure that he found something else for her to do that will bring something for the house.
And what was that?
No, you know, you do the normal things we women do. You sell, you know, you do those things that brings money.
And then because it keeps you busy too.
Yeah, it keeps you busy. And because he realized that he was married to somebody who didn't want to sit at home. He realized that my mom was more of a, you know, I want to work. There's nothing like having your own money. Because our fathers then, all they used to give you was, after they pay school fees, is after the feeding money, there's nothing else. The woman wants to buy her wrapper. She wants to give her kids money. She's the one giving. So if you don't do those things, then you're going to have a problem. Yesterday, I think I was on Instagram. And what did I see? She's a super lady in Ajegunle. What does she do? She drives a motorway. And guess what?
That's dangerous, though.
I know. Excuse me. That's like you said, things have changed. Before, women don't drive motorways. And guess what? Anytime she's driving, everybody says that she is more of a safer person. So many people are always there.
Okay. So we will take a little break now. When we come back, this show will just be rolling into another level. But for now, while you are waiting to return with us, we'd like to have you share with us, if you're a man, is your wife working? Are you enjoying it? What kind of job would you rather she do, or your people, women around you do, to ensure that the home and the country moves forward? We'll be right back.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
"24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh,
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
Nigeria is a country of many cultures, languages and beliefs. But despite our differences, there is one thing that unites us all, our love for this great nation. Sometimes we may feel that we need to go fast and go alone, but when we come together and work as a team, we can go far beyond what we ever thought was possible. United, we can create thriving businesses that benefit our communities and in turn, our nation. It is said that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Let's understand our differences and come together to build a better Nigeria. When we work together, there is nothing we can't achieve. Nigeria, better together.
It's still conversations. I said you should send text messages or WhatsApp messages, not call, because I see some people who are trying to call us. We don't take calls. We only take your written messages. Share your idea of what is ideal work for a woman to do. But then while that was going on, I know that Engineer Christabel had something to talk about nursing and I just needed to chip in before I go to ask you my own question for you. We were talking about nursing and other profession.
Yes, I was trying to say, there was like, she said her mom was a nurse. Joy also said her mom was a nurse. And funny enough, my mom happens to be a nurse too.
Oh, wow.
So I realized that probably those days, back then, during our parents' time, the major profession for women were maybe nursing and teaching. But things have changed, as we've all agreed. Things have really changed. I remember my uncle then, he wanted his wife to become a nurse. Reasons only to himself. Why? Because he said he wanted, when he's old, he wants someone to be able to take care of him at his old age. But now I think people have different reasons why they chose what they want to become, right? Why they chose their character. Like for me, I use myself as an example. My dad was in the oil and gas sector, but he was hardly at home. He was offshore most of the time. So it's my mom that was taking care of us most of the time. So when he came back, when I was filling out my JAMB form, my mom wanted me to be in the health sector. But I was like, okay, should I do optometry? Should I do pharmacy? I just said to myself, I want to be like my dad.
To be going outside?
I wrote engineering. My dad came back and saw my JAMB form and said, Christabel, then he calls me my native name. He said, you're going to break. Don't go and study engineering. But because of that word he told me, I picked up courage and said, I must study engineering. And I wrote it down as my first choice. And I got admission as an engineer. And I'm an engineer today.
Wow.
That's nice.
That's a good one. No, but how has it been for you? Because I know that a lot of times I try to follow up on what you people do. And sometimes for me, I feel like I'm chasing a mirage because I don't get to understand it. It's a bit too much of mathematics and all of that. For you as a woman, especially engineering in the oil and gas sector, once we hear oil and gas, energy, power, as long as I'm concerned, is masculine. How has it been for you?
And if I may chip in, what kind of engineer are you? I know there's civil engineering, mechanical, and all of this. What kind of engineer are you? Band A engineer.
I'm a chemical engineer.
Chemical engineer.
Buy one that was acceptable there because you say you want to do civil, they'll be like, it's a man's sector. If you say mechanical, it's a man's sector. Chemical, okay, it's feminine, so just go into it. So I'm a chemical engineer.
Okay.
And finding yourself in the oil and gas sector. Actually, I'm with the Women in Energy, Oil and Gas. Now, in the Women in Energy and Gas Association, what we actually do is that we tend to create awareness in terms of gender diversity. We also try to do inclusion of women. We create that platform so that women in energy, in that energy, oil and gas sector can come together and collaborate, and prevention and all that stuff. So, but in the oil and gas sector, the oil is male dominated. Even right now, what we do most times is to try to talk to young girls to pick up career in that field, because people like, maths is hard, maths and chemistry is hard, physics is hard, but these days the teaching methodology has been simplified. Yeah, it's easy to grab compared to our time. Our time was more big books to read, but now I think they've blended it with technology, so it's easy to understand. In the oil and gas field, it's mainly dominated. That is why we create that platform for women to be able to go to leadership position, to be able to showcase yourself, to be audible, to your voice to be heard. That's what the platform is created.
Okay, that's a good one. Let me get back to Toyin. It's about the same kind of environment. I know your own is renewable energy, and I must say that I have had opportunity of meeting people who are into renewable energy, mostly solar. I have not seen a woman. You're the first I'm saying, and I'm impressed. Because I see you trying to solve my problem with electricity. But tell me, how does it feel, you being a woman and doing this construction, and your hand does not look like you construct anything?
Well, it is interesting. I've been constructing all my life.
All your life?
Yes,
wow.
All my life. Okay, so let me take it from when I left the university. My interest was in bringing solutions to the electricity problem. I hate up NEPA. I hated that so much, and I wanted to bring solutions to that sector. I studied geography.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I studied geography. And immediately I left the university, I went into solar. It wasn't popular then. I had partners, male partners, who were not so encouraging because I did so much, but they didn't allow it. So I got angry. The way government things work, anyway, I got angry, and I didn't want to have anything to do with electricity. I didn't want to have anything to do with government. So I went into jewelry making. So that's why I said I've been constructing all my life. So, and while we were talking about women staying at home and all of that, I enjoyed a bit of that when my children were, growing up because I was doing jewelry, but my interest in energy was still there. So I was building my career in it. I was still following up schooling and all of that. Then when I became a solar system installer, I went straight into business. And fortunately for me, I met WIOG and joined WIOG. WIOG bridged 3 gaps for women: gender gap, energy poverty gap, and the economic gap. So women make sure that whatever the situation, they try and lift you up to be at par with your male counterpart. So,
what are the practical, challenges women face, being in the men's arena? I mean, your kind of field. What are the, because I know that as a teacher, I probably may not have the same challenge, but for you, what kind of challenge do you have?
Okay, so for me, for example, if there's an installation, it is easier for the men to think that you cannot install. That, wow, you understand, maybe do the marketing, the selling part and all of that. You're the one that will stamp your feet and tell them that, yes, I can. And when I went to Astra, is a practical solar system school, I had the highest score.
At the end of it. Were there men in the class?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Usually when we go for trainings like that, you will maybe find 1 or 2 women. You rarely find women in such trainings. Until now that, the international organizations and organizations like WIOG now deliberately do women mainstreamed trainings, opportunities, and all of that to bring women. But when you stamp your feet and you let them know that, yes, I can, and when you even put them through on certain things, they will automatically agree that, yes, you're there. And they stop looking at you like a woman. They now see you as their colleagues, not a woman.
Like gentlemen of press. How does this also reflect in your home? Because you mentioned when your kids were growing up and all of that. Being a practical mom, being a working mom, how does your husband, your children take it? Are you sure you're juggling up well enough?
Yes, I think I am just, let me say I am a fortunate person. Because growing up, my father was a baker and my mother was baking with him. So much that my mother was more in the bakery than my father. So growing up, I didn't understand that men thing to a large extent. And getting married, my husband is a trained engineer, but he's a he for she. 100% he for she. And even when we're going to have children, he's like, let's pray for 2 girls.
Are you serious?
Unfortunately, we have 3 girls.
Are you serious?
So
no, he didn't want a boy?
There was, coincidentally, we are Muslims. And on girl child, the Prophet Muhammad says that if you are able to train 2 girls, successfully, that you and him will be like this.
Oh, wow.
There was no promise on a male child. So why stress yourself?
No, but our male children are also very important.
They are very important, but that was no promise.
We are talking about women.
We are talking about women. So in my home, we are all very practical people. But I see people in some cases because, let me say coincidentally again, I happen to be the convener of Unilag Women Alumni. And on that platform, people share their pains. People share, so much that they go through. And it is actually from that platform that I realized so much from what I used to hear that was, I heard practical things on what women go through. And, we have a lot of organizations like that. Now, growing up, to strengthen women.
That's good to know. Some people are still writing in, but before I get back to Devon, let's quickly take this one. It says the choice of a job for a spouse is highly personal and should be based on her own interest, skills, and career goals rather than detecting or choosing a job for her. It's crucial to support her in pursuing a career that she finds fulfilling and aligns with her aspirations. For example, if she is passionate about teaching and enjoys the working with children, a career in education might be suitable. If she is interested in healthcare and wants to help others, a job in nursing or as a physician might be a good fit. The most important aspect is that she feels valued, challenged, and satisfied with her work. That's a whole lot of reading to be done here. But then, based on what you're saying, I totally agree with you, because I believe that if you love what you're doing, you bring out the best. And your job will no longer be a chore, so to speak. You'll find time to... I enjoy my job as a media person. And when I'm at work, sometimes I actually wonder if I'm working, because I'm, to me, having a ball. Some other persons may see it as a job, perhaps because that's not their calling. They took it because that's job opportunity. So to make money. And the money we actually pursue to make, if you're chasing money rather than career, a lot of times you don't make the money. That's my opinion.
I don't agree with it.
That's my opinion.
No, I don't.
That's my opinion. The money comes, when you love what you're doing. Because if you love what you're doing, you find different ways of rediscovering that thing and making it better. And once it's better, you get patronage.
No, but you see this. Okay, let me use an example now. I used to supply household stuff. And one day the man now asked me, can you supply sand and gravel? The profit wasn't much.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I had money. Why do I say that? It's that at least I was turning it around. Because if you don't turn around the money that you're making, you squander it, then you now find out that you're getting broke. Unfortunately, the situation in Nigeria now tells us that, look, you have to do everything. Everything. That's why if they ask you, they say, what are you?
General merchandise.
That's it. So you see, the problem now is that those days were better. Now, anything you see, you do. The only thing I always tell people is that if you're not good at the work you do, at that work they've given you, you try and go and look for somebody who is very good at it. Then both of you share it. You split it. Because next time, if that job is not done well, you know definitely they will not look for you again.
Definitely. You're still coming back to what I said. You were
going However, I'm going to lean into what Joy is saying. I don't quite agree that you should love what you are doing. I think proficiency matters more, regardless of love or not loving anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I love anything. There are times, when I see my husband getting all passionate about what's I'm gonna ask now. I'm like, I've spent my life thinking of what my passion is. I still don't know it. I just hope I will come to know it with them. Because I'm good at a number of things. I like a number of things.
Yeah.
But I think if you are proficient at doing something, making money from it is easier than you could be somebody who enjoys fashion. You love fashion a lot and you can't stitch a button. You can't make money from fashion despite loving it.
That's true.
But if you know how to do something well, even if you don't love it, you can make money from it.
That's true.
For instance, I'm famously known for saying I don't really enjoy cooking. I don't have to enjoy it. The thing is, I do it reasonably well. Can I make money from it? Yes.
Nope.
No, I can't make money from it, but I don't want to. I don't want to. But can I? Yes. I'm also a bit of a fine artist. Now, when I paint or do these things for leisure, it's nice and everything. But since last year, November, somebody has been asking me for a painting and I've not been able to. It takes emotional energy out of you and body will pain you. Your back, your shoulders, everything. I didn't know until a time when I really started putting, and now when I see, that canvas and paint, I'm like, Lord, I'm tired. So I don't quite agree that once you love something, if you're working at it, it's, for some people maybe. For me, it's just proficiency. If you're proficient at something, it will be easier to do, and the process will not be as grueling to make money from.
For me, it's all about money.
You know why you may have a point in what you're saying, but as it still goes back to the fact that if you are, for instance, let's go back to your painting. You were doing it because you stumbled on it and liked it a bit. You weren't doing it because you wanted to make money out of it.
No.
Once you start thinking about making money out of it, you find out that you revamp that passion and love for that thing. And then you seek ways of making it better for you. What do I mean? Your back will pain you because your posture.
The person that wanted that painting was going to pay.
No, I'm coming.
And I've not been able to make that painting.
Because your positioning, your posture is wrong. You're going to have all the wrong vibes, coming from doing it. So it still goes back to a bit of what I'm saying. If you love something and you're happy doing it, you're going to look for better ways of doing it. Then that better ways will make it even better for people to purchase.
My last birthday, my daughter bought me an easel and a stool to make life easier for me when I paint. I've not used it once. I haven't used it
because
once.
You're making money from other things.
I'm making money from other things.
That's what I'm
saying.
That
I don't even derive as much pleasure from as painting, but they pay off more than painting for me right now.
All right, so let's get back to it.
Just chip in something from what she said. Now I understand where she's coming from. I'm using myself as a practical example.
Okay.
Now I'm a chemical engineer, but I find myself in the nuclear space. When I found myself in this space, I never had, you have a background, yes, chemistry, but it's just one part of our body then that has to do with nuclear, talking about nuclear. But when I found myself in that space, I had to upskill myself, I had to develop myself, I had to train myself to like what I do. I have two ideologies about happiness. It's related to me, there's a natural happiness and there's a synthetic happiness.
Synthetic.
Yes,
wow.
And the truth is that if you study research, they will tell you that 40% of the human being comes more, your happiness, 40% of the happiness is more the synthetic happiness. When I say synthetic, I mean making lemonade out of lemons.
Okay.
Yeah. The truth is that you keep having maybe some
setbacks,
negative things coming to you, but you must make positivity out of it. So it's the same thing with career. Whenever you find yourself, be positive about it, upskill yourself, develop yourself there. With time, you make money. Sometimes it might not be actually about the money. But if you make up your mind to make money from that skill, you will get it.
It's about money.
True.
Yes. Because when you get involved in any kind of a job, I'll still go back to your artwork because I've been on it for a long time. You must make money out of it too.
No, first of all, I don't think I'm that good. Although art is relative.
It's a question of getting to study. I'll tell you how it worked with my daughter. When she told me I noticed she had interest with baking and all of that. So she was doing cakes and we're dashing out to people and they were enjoying it. At a point she was able to start selling a little. But I now called her and said, can I have a cost of what you're doing? She only wrote for the ingredients she bought. I told her, no, what about my power, electricity? What about my oven you used? What about my time? You eased me out of my kitchen so you can use my space. I want you to account for that. She was like, you're being mean. I said, no, you know what you're going to do? I sent her back to business school to learn how to calculate how to make money out of maybe a 10-inch cake. So whatever you like doing, that's what I'm saying. If you love it, you have to look for ways of improving it. If you want to make clothes, don't just account for the thread, needle, and all of that. You have to look at the time and quantify it. If you don't understand it, there are accounting schools, business schools that will teach you how to tabulate your time and make yourself pay. And some people will not just let us rest. Let's say this person says, this is an admonition. Look, men should allow their wives work better than having a wife at home, providing everything humanly possible for her. The next thing, she is on social media inviting all sorts of men to your house while the husband is away working for business.
Oh my God,
wow.
That's bizarre.
That's extreme.
That's bizarre.
That's extreme.
I don't think any women on social media inviting strange men to their house.
Okay. But we get the gist. He said women should work because, like we're told.
And I do mind.
Is
the
an
devil's workshop.
Exactly. Some men would say they don't want their wives to work, but what if she earns more than the husband? What if what he earns isn't enough to take care of his family? And who says men cannot do house chores and take care of the children while his wife is at work? Remember, you were once a bachelor before you got married. Emmanuel from Kaduna. I'm happy that it's all men writing in this thing, because a lot of times it looks as if it's we women detecting, but it's good to know that the men are the one asking their wives to get up and pick up something. You must get something doing. But Christopher, I still want to find out from your own perspective, doing what you're doing, what are the challenges you face being in the nuclear energy as a woman?
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's a male-dominated field, but I personally have not really experienced this tough challenge. Why? Because our CEO is a he for she, boss. So he knows how to balance and make women and men apart. He doesn't discriminate. So I personally, but asking from other fields, sometimes there are specific jobs that they feel that the woman cannot do. Maybe raid jobs, they feel that you have family, it's going to take care of your family and all that. Most of the time they give it to the men. They don't give men that opportunity to grow. So these are the
But if they give it to you, can you do it?
Yes, because you set up and you signed up for it. You should be able to do it. If you are determined as a woman to excel in that profession, you should be able to take up any challenge that is given to you.
You see, I have a slightly different view regarding this, which might sound retrogressive, but I'm just trying to be very practical. Women get pregnant and give birth to babies. You'll have to go on maternity leave, right? Now, if you're an oil rig worker, how safe is it for you? I don't even know how it looks. It looks dangerous. I see all these things in the middle of the vast ocean and things. How safe is it for a woman who's suffering morning sickness, for instance, to be expected to be climbing all those things with vertigo and a pregnancy and all this? I just feel it's not practical. Okay. And that's the reason why. It's not, I feel as if some jobs are more suitable to, I think jobs should be taken on based on physical capacity to handle the job. If you're a woman who is not planning to marry or have kids, that's fine, and you're physically strong. Why not? But if you're already married and you're thinking of getting pregnant, having kids, is it that you'll now expect that you should be given a slightly different treatment from the men that are holding that same schedule? Isn't that a bit unfair at that point? But if you're a woman who is not married and not planning to have kids and you're physically strong, yes. If you're married and you're planning to have kids, even I would have a head-scratching moment. What do we do with you when you get pregnant?
She's going to answer you on
so
that.
I was going to answer you on that. Let's look at it this way. In that, what we are asking for is inclusivity. You include women based on what their ability at that point in time. Even a man
at that point in time.
At that point in time. Even a man can have an accident and be on the sick bed for 1 year. What do you do with that job?
No, that's different. That could happen to man and woman alike.
Pregnancy,
but that's why I said
pregnancy is part of a woman's life, so it has to be considered.
Yes.
So during pregnancy period,
they pull you out.
So, I mean, you can handle some other things. That is not the only thing that happened in that organization. You can handle some other things, while some other women that are not pregnant or men take it at that point in time. But it is not enough an excuse not to give you a chance.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
I wouldn't even call it an excuse. I think it's a reason.
Okay, a reason.
There's a difference
it is
between
not
those two
enough
words.
a reason, especially when the woman believes that she can do it.
If she's good,
you know, it's a choice. Actually.
I believe Dangote's daughter, but he hasn't claimed me yet. So belief,
okay, belief
is different. Can be different from reality. Let me just play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
I am not a huge fan of women going into the army, for instance.
Yes, you don't have
and
to.
go to be soldier, carry gun. If I don't, I'm sorry, that's me.
Yes, some women don't have to.
Because if my daughter says she wants to do that, I'll be like, hello, sit down and think through that thing very well. Yeah?
It's alive.
Because
guess
I
what?
think
What happened to her?
Because
It's
I
alive.
think
You have lived your life.
Yeah, like I said, sit down and think it through. I didn't
Not
say
really
I'll tell her
stop
don't
her.
do
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So there's a difference. Now, if you are physically capacitated to do it, for me that's the only thing. Not even whether you're male or female. Your physical capacity to handle it, for me, is the main thing. And for me, I feel that when it comes to all these things that require, men are ordinarily physically stronger than women, physiologically.
And at times it can just be
That one has never changed. If you keep a man, a 16-year-old teenage boy and a 16-year-old teenage girl that are about the same height, that boy will beat that girl.
That's
to a
what
pulp.
you
That
think.
is
That's
not
not
true.
true.
It's not a thinking.
That is not true.
Wait.
Things
Allow
have
me to
changed.
land.
My girls are karate trained. If you are this tall, they will bring you down.
Wait, let me land. You see, this general perception you have. Please don't. Let me land too, regardless of how absurd what I'm saying. You see, this general perception we have is what entered the trans movement. A man will take a few injections, he will develop breasts, and then they'll put him in the ring with a woman. Prior to that, women have their own fighting this thing. Men have their own. They say because of those injections, those men have been reduced, or their physical strength has been reduced to that of a woman. They were cracking women's skulls and rendering them unconscious.
Okay.
Physiologically, the average man is stronger than the average woman. Can a woman beat a man? Yes, it happens every now and then, but it's not the norm. I'm talking of the norm. Okay. Ordinarily, even a 25-year-old woman will not be able to withstand a 16-year-old boy in a fight. Let's not try to rewrite physiology and biology.
It is about your mind.
That is why I said
it is
it's about
it
physical
is what you
capacity
believe.
as well.
It's not just physical. It's your willingness to do it is even more important than the
Devon,
physical.
When it comes to skill and work, I don't want to look at it from the angle of fight.
It for me.
Because a lot of times it's your mindset that makes you move mountains.
Okay.
Do you understand? I can be in the studio with a man, and like my cameraman Dauda is looking at me, and he is heavy set bigger than I am. But I know at so many occasions
you'll be able to lift him up.
No, he has not been able to lift the camera as much as I've been able to do.
Okay.
It's a mindset. You understand? But then our time is almost
I
out.
still
Before we
disagree.
take,
I don't believe it's all about the mind. The body matters.
Okay, look at the banking sector now.
Yeah.
All women are chief executives. Everything is changing.
It's about the brain.
Bingo!
I'm talking about physiology, not
the
mind.
brain that makes that work. It is technology and the brain that we use now.
It's not the norm for a woman to be physically
But the
stronger than a
point
man.
is that
Hello, madam.
Are the women delivering?
Yes, they are.
delivering.
And it is even no longer a case of muscle. It is brain and technology.
And apart from that, let's
brain
look at
and
it
technology.
generally. If people were to pick and choose jobs, women will ordinarily not pick any job that requires brute strength.
In the past.
Ordinarily.
In the past. That was in the past.
Most of
People
those
are
Okay,
let
me give you one other thing that WeOrg is doing.
When they pay them better, that's why their kids are reading. They're telling their kids to read those jobs that pay better. No, look at everybody is telling their kid to go and play football.
You know,
you were saying something.
Yes, I was saying something about ordinarily women will not go for certain profession.
I would.
They wanted
to,
for those that wanted to go into engineering, into things in that regard that connect to oil and gas, for example. Women, we all give them that opportunity. No matter your age, you want to now come into it. You're welcome. We all will mentor you. From my jewelry, I am.
No, but oil and gas pays very well.
But what I'm telling you is that it is not a case of women should not do this or cannot do this or ordinarily. It is about the woman. What do you want? If that is what she wants, if that is the profession she chooses, with skill and technology in today's world,
anything is possible.
All right, so it says,
especially now that
a
we say
woman
technology.
is supposed to work. That's why God created women as helpers. when a woman doesn't work, how can she help her husband financially? Okay, so
Women don't want to help financially.
Women are wonderful beings and extremely industrious. My mother and my wife are example. Okay, this is a nice one. What I do is also take out time to support my wife, both at home and in her business. The highest motivation you can give a woman is the attention and support. She remains the happy woman you want her to be. This man is a very good husband. Okay? You didn't give us your name, but all the same, we'll give you a good husband as a name. Jonathan from Orozo here in Abuja says, very interesting topic, but there is an African saying that a woman's job is in the kitchen. But that was then, not now. Women are now the backbone of every family. I believe you completely, Jonathan. And before we go, last words from Christabel. What do you think? A lot of people are still writing. I don't know if I can take all this, but let's just share your last word on how to ensure that women continue to push hard, especially in your sector.
Okay, for the oil and gas sector and also for the nuclear space, don't be deterred no matter what they say. Oh, it's engineering, in fact, what's going on right now, most of people are going into information technology. It's really good, but that's where the money is. So don't be deterred. Follow your heart, follow your choice, and always find that whenever you find yourself in that space, always know one thing, that you must learn how to balance your work and your family life because it's a demanding space. I will tell you the truth.
Okay, Devin?
Do what you know you can handle.
Right? Did you say?
Go renewable. It is good for your pocket and for the environment.
All right, now before I leave, I said you were going to solve my problem. I want to know if I want to go renewable, is it that cheap?
Yes, it is affordable.
And for the people who are watching us, and if they want you to assist them, can you do that?
Oh yes, I am very.
Because I'm sure I'll get calls. I'll just have to leave them back.
I am ready for them.
All right. Okay, Joy.
Do what you love and make sure it brings you money.
All right. And before we go, we have a few more messages from our viewers here. I'll just take maybe 3 or 4. Men should allow their wives to work to prevent them from gossiping and fighting. This is not fair now. This is not fair. This is not fair.
Don't gossip.
It is good for women to work because it helps their mental health. That's a good one. Thumbs up to Devon Mom for her in-depth contributions. Thank you very much. Women should work to assist their husband financially. My mother was a medical practitioner and my father was an engineer by profession. Both of them did very well. Thank you so much. We'll have more of this coming in. We'll probably be talking to you, behind the camera. For now, I'll just say whatever you are, men or women, male or female, do what you can to keep busy. Work is not just for the money. It's also for your mental health. Trust me on that. We'll see you again next week. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.